Wilson's loose. Zach Wilson's running. He's got all day. He stays in bounds. Zach Wilson cuts it. Zach Wilson gets in the end zone for the touchdown. Yo, what is good, Jets Nation? Welcome back to another Jets Media live stream. And today, we'll be talking about Robert Saleh talking to the media this morning. Had a lot of interesting things to say, and I want to break it all down with you guys. I want you guys to come into the chat. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments, whether you're watching this on replay or you're watching it on live right now, as I'm realizing I have a typo in the title. Of course, always having some technical difficulties to start off the stream. But guys, welcome in. Hope you guys are enjoying your Monday afternoon. Smash that like button if you're just tuning in. I greatly appreciate that. So today was the owners meeting. Robert Saleh got to talk to the media for a long time, 30 long minutes that the media got a chance to talk with our head coach in Robert Saleh. And he had a lot of things to talk about when it comes to this New York Jets team heading into the NFL draft and the rest of the offseason. So we're going to get into that right away. If you guys did not know, I just posted a video talking about my thoughts of the rumor that the New York Jets and Joe Douglas are keeping an eye on star receivers such as DK Metcalf, A.J. Brown, and Deebo Samuel. So if you want to see my thoughts about that report, I just uploaded it on my YouTube channel, so make sure you guys check that out. Shout out to everybody tuning in the chat. What up, Derek? Jets Mess, Sam, AZ Jets, Steve, R&R, welcome into the show. I greatly appreciate having all my Jets Media subscribers here tuning in. If you did not already, make sure you smash that thumbs up button, and let's get right into it. So my first biggest takeaway from the New York Jets press conference with Robert Saleh. He had a lot of crazy things to say, guys, and I'm sure you already know it because it happened early this morning, so I'm not breaking any news to you. But I want to hear your thoughts in the chat or in the comments down below if you're watching this on replay about these things. So the first thing that caught me by surprise is we find out that Elijah Vera-Tucker will move to right guard and Laken Tomlinson will be the left guard. Wow. Nobody saw this coming. So as we all know, we signed Laken Tomlinson in free agency, former Pro Bowler last year for the San Francisco 49ers, and he is a left guard throughout his entire career for the San Francisco 49ers. But Jets fans, including myself, we all assumed that we got him to be a right guard because we have Elijah Vera-Tucker coming off a rookie season, who had a really phenomenal season, to be the left guard for the future. But no, Robert Saleh drops a bombshell on us saying that Elijah Vera-Tucker will move to right guard and Laken Tomlinson will be the starting left guard going into this season. Now, I got a lot of things to talk about when it comes to this. Did not expect it. I don't think this is a big-time, move where it's going to make a big-time difference. But what I think happened was Laken Tomlinson is the proven veteran. He's the proven Pro Bowl talent at that position. It makes more sense for him to be comfortable where he's at this point of his career. And if you look at Elijah Vera-Tucker, the great things about him, and which is why we drafted him, and which is why Joe Douglas and the New York Jets fell in love with him as a prospect in the NFL draft last year, was because of his versatility. Elijah Vera-Tucker could play at tackle. He could play at guard. He could play a right guard or left guard. So they're giving Elijah Vera-Tucker the keys to the right guard position. So as of right now, the offensive line looks like either it's going to be George Fant or Mekhi Becton at left tackle, with Laken Tomlinson at left guard, Connor McDermott at center, Elijah Vera-Tucker at right guard, and then one of Becton and Fant at right tackle. Now, what I might be on board with now is this. The tackle spot is up in the air, right? We're also going to talk about Mekhi Becton as the next talking point because he had a lot of interesting things to say about him. But I honestly would not be shocked if the New York Jets give George Fant the left tackle position now and let the two veterans be next to each other with George Fant and Laken Tomlinson, and then slide Mekhi Becton over to right tackle And we have the twin mountain brothers of AVT and Mekhi Becton all of a sudden on the right side. How about that? When we drafted AVT last year, we expected the left side of the offensive line to be set for the next decade. And we thought it would be Mekhi and AVT on that left side. But all of a sudden, things are changing. And it's not a bad thing. George Fant goes out there at the left tackle spot and has one of the better seasons that the Jets have seen at the left tackle position since the Brickashaw Ferguson, being one of the best pass blocking left tackles in the entire NFL. And we go out there and sign a Pro Bowl left guard in Laken Tomlinson. So what if the right side consists of Mekhi Becton and Elijah Vera Tucker next year? Hey, I'm okay with that. That's going to be crazy in the run game. Now, that's a definitely interesting news because nobody expected this. I think when the Jets signed him, they think this was a definitely conversation to have with Laken Tomlinson. And you want to keep the veteran where he's more comfortable with and let the rookie or now year two player who's versatile get comfortable with playing multiple different positions in the NFL. So I really like this move. I think it's going to be a really fun season for the offensive line. And now let's get into the next talking point, which is on the offensive line still. Robert Saleh was asked about Mekhi Becton. He said he might not be ready for OTAs. Now, I see a lot of Jets fans freaking out over this on Twitter. And Connor Hughes made it seem like it was way more bigger of a deal than Robert Saleh seemed to be. He did not say he's not going to be ready for OTAs, but he said that there's a chance that he might not be. And, if we go back to last year, Mekhi Becton got rolled up on by Greg Van Roten in week number 1 against the Carolina Panthers. He dislocated his knee, and we did not hear that he was going to be out for the remainder of the season. Jets fans were told that he'll be back eventually, and we're waiting week by week for an updates, and it's kept getting, nope, he's not ready. Nope, he's not ready. And all of a sudden, week 18 comes around saying, nope, Mekhi Becton will not be playing again. But the good thing is, Mekhi Becton is in shape. If you see the videos of him with Duke Manyweather, he's putting in the work. Robert Saleh's in constant communication with him, and they're excited about him going into year number 3. But the unfortunate reality is Mekhi Becton is a large human being, and he heals differently than anybody else, right? Robert Saleh compared it to himself. If I had that injury, I'd heal differently. It's obvious, right? If a player like, a wide receiver or a defensive back had that style of injury, they'd be recovering differently than a man in Mekhi Becton who is at that size. So there's no need to rush him back. Let Mekhi Becton ease his way in. At this point, I really feel like George Fant's going to be that left tackle, if I had to guess, and Mekhi's going to be slitting in at the right tackle next to AVT. I have no concerns with Mekhi Becton. I feel like when he gets in shape and he gets on the field, he'll prove to be the guy that we all fell in love with in the draft. So, and again, this does not mean that he's not going to be ready for OTAs. There's still a chance. But Robert Saleh did not say he's not going to be ready in time. He said there's a chance he might not be. They're keeping an eye out for him. You do not want to rush him out there. They want to make sure that he's in 100% shape, and he's going to be a guy that's going to prove to be a big piece for this offensive line in the future, and I'm excited for it. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, which was the best part of this entire interview with Robert Saleh, the Jets not done and ready to make a big swing, baby. Woo! This is what Jets fans want to hear. He said offseason is not close to being done. Now, what does Robert Saleh mean by that? Huh? What does Robert Saleh mean by that? You know what I think he means? There's going to be a lot of moves from the New York Jets before the NFL draft. We saw what happened with the Tyreek Hill situation. Joe Douglas was ready to sacrifice a lot of draft capital and a lot of money into Tyreek Hill. And I just made a video today about the New York Jets keeping an eye on star receivers Deebo Samuel, DK Metcalf, and A.J. Brown just in case those contract extensions go south with their respective organizations. So what that tells me as a Jets fan is the Jets are ready to make a big swing when an opportunity presents itself because we have so much capital and so much ammunition to be able to sacrifice to make an aggressive move while still maintaining draft capital to build this thing through the draft. Now, that is a great thing that Robert Saleh said, that they are ready to make a big swing. Now, the big question is, what the hell is that big swing going to be? Will it be wide receiver? I have no idea. Will it be edge? I have no idea. Now, the big thing about the video I made earlier about the star receivers is those 3 receivers are not available for trade. The only reason why they're being talked about is because now we saw what happened with Tyreek Hill. When you're entering the final year of your contract and you don't know what to expect, if the team that is, talking with their agents and they do not come to an agreement on a contract, that team would rather trade him away than let him walk in free agency. So I would not be shocked if all 3 of those receivers gets paid by training camp, but we will see. If there's one of them that is the most likely to get traded, it's probably DK Metcalf. I do not see why the 49ers will trade Debo. I do not see why the Titans will trade for A.J. Brown. They're both in a win-now situation. Now, to hear that the Jets are ready to make a big swing is a big deal, and I'm excited for that. Now, another thing that I thought was funny is that Saleh jokes about fighting with Joe Douglas about offensive line or defensive line at pick number 4. He said that him and JD are getting into a bare-knuckle fight or something like that about where the Jets are going to go at number 4, whether that's going to be the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball in the trenches. Now, I found this funny. Did Robert Saleh just tell us who the hell we're going to draft? Does that mean that Joe Douglas is 100% sold on getting a trench player at number 4? I'd honestly be shocked if we do not take a player at number 4, whether that's on the offense or defensive line, which is why I want to talk about this, because I think us as a Jets fan base can all agree that we prefer to go defensive line here, right? The offensive line seems to be set. We have the starting 5 that we would love to see, but the defensive line is a work in progress. We have Carl Lawson coming back, and he also said that Carl Lawson's studying tape on the draft picks. Now, that might tell you that the coaching staff is telling Carl Lawson, hey, do you want to study some tape on Kayvon Thibodeau for us? On Jermaine Johnson for us? Some Trayvon Walker tape? Who do you think we should draft? Because you know for sure that Carl Lawson's not studying tape on offensive linemen. Well, he probably could be opposing offensive linemen but I'm talking about draft prospects. Why would he be studying tape on players that's not his position is what my point is. That tells me that the Jets are really interested in drafting an edge rusher early. Is that going to be Kayvon Thibodeau at 4? Maybe. Will it be Trayvon Walker at 4? Because we're seeing rumors that Trayvon Walker might go top 3 all of a sudden. Will it be Jermaine Johnson at number 10? We don't know. But all we do know is that the Jets are most likely going to draft a player in the trenches at pick number 4. And I hope that Robert Saleh wins that battle between Joe Douglas. Because Joe Douglas wants to go offensive line always. Robert Saleh, he wants to go defensive line. Now, is there still an opportunity that they go offensive line with this pick? Yes. Do they fall in love with Ikem Ekwonu? But if they draft him, what the hell happens, right? Who's the odd man out? Do we move on from a player? Do we bench a player? I don't know what the hell's going to happen, but that's another conversation to have on another day. But overall, my thoughts about what Robert Saleh had to say in a nutshell is he seems to be gaining some weight, seems to be putting on some muscle, and the New York Jets are going to be taking the best player available when they're on the clock, regardless of position of need. That's what he said multiple times as well. Now, another topic I want to talk about when it comes to what Robert Saleh had to say about Zach Wilson. That's the next topic. You guys ready? Saleh wants Zach Wilson to master the playbook in year number 2. Somebody asked Robert Saleh, how does Zach Wilson improve from year 1 to year 2? What does he need to do in order to get those easy intermediate those missed throws out of his system? And Robert Saleh had a very interesting response. He said that him processing things quickly and him understanding the playbook is the reason why he was missing those throws as a rookie, which is normal, right? You're a rookie. You're not going to understand the playbook like the back of your hand right away. You're going to have some bumps in the road. Now, this is a big-time offseason for Zach Wilson. He's on tour, as Robert Saleh jokes, saying that he's out there with Braxton Berrios currently in Miami. He was in Nashville with Corey Davis. He's still taking a tour and meeting up with all of his teammates to get some throws in to maintain that chemistry. Now, what I love about what Robert Saleh had to say about Zach Wilson is he understands that what Zach Wilson needs to do is be 100% invested in understanding the system. And the continuity factor is going to be so big for Zach Wilson, we don't even understand, right? Zach Wilson does not have to worry about learning an entire new playbook. He doesn't have to worry about learning an entire new scheme, where the receivers have to be, where he has to be, where the ball has to be. The protection's going to be the same. Most of the players around him will be the same outside of the 2 new tight ends and all the players that we're going to draft, right? Michael Carter will still be his running back. Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, Braxton Berrios will still be his receivers. Expect the Jets to add another receiver, whether that's in the trade market or the NFL draft, of course. But Zach Wilson's going to have continuity around him. And he's also going to have continuity around the playbook. So what Zach Wilson needs to do to take that next step as a sophomore is to be just get so comfortable in the system. Think quickly. Don't react on the fly. Don't just, overthink and overcomplicate things. Because if you saw what Zach Wilson was struggling with last year, was those quick intermediate throws. And that's him not understanding where the ball needs to be, more or less, than his accuracy, right? His feet are not set. His footwork, his shoulders and his eyes were not all aligned when those throws were going awry because he was overcomplicating things. He didn't know where the ball was supposed to be, and that's normal for a rookie quarterback. So I think that what Zach Wilson needs to do is master the playbook in order for him to take that big-time step. And that's what I love to hear from our head coach talking about our rookie quarterback. And the good thing about this is Zach Wilson's known to be very intelligent. He's known to be a worker where he wants to educate himself on the playbook. He wants to, relentlessly study where the ball needs to be, where the wide receivers need to be, what the protection needs to be. What do I look for on defenses on this play? Where does the ball need to be anticipation-wise on this play? And Zach Wilson is known to be a film junkie. So this is a good thing because I think we can all agree that Zach Wilson has all the physical tools to be a great quarterback, and he has the mental ability to be a great quarterback. It's just a matter if he can connect it all and not overcomplicate things when he gets on the field. That's what really separates the good, great, and bad quarterbacks. Are you able to master the playbook, understand the playbook, and go instinctually on the field, not overcomplicate things, not second-guess yourself? Because if you're second-guessing yourself as a quarterback, you're digging your own grave. You're done. That's what Sam Darnold's problem was. He had no offensive line around him. He had Adam Gase, and he just was a guy that wasn't confident behind the line of scrimmage in the pocket. And Sam Darnold always was second-guessing his throws, which resulted in him not being successful. And the same thing is carrying over to Carolina. But I love that answer from Robert Saleh for sure, that he wants Zach Wilson to really master the playbook, and it's going to open up big time, man. Shout out to everybody tuning into the chat. I appreciate you guys tuning in on this Monday afternoon. Make sure you guys smash that like button on your way in if you did not already. I greatly appreciate everybody tuning into this Monday afternoon show on Jets Media. We got around 24 likes with 80 of you guys tuning in, so don't forget to smash that thumbs up button, of course, for your boy. I greatly appreciate that. If you guys did not know, I posted a video right before I went live talking about my thoughts of the rumors of the New York Jets, keeping an eye on star receivers Deebo Samuel, DK Metcalf, and A.J. Brown. So if you want to hear my thoughts of that, tune into that video. But in this one, we're talking about what Robert Saleh had to say. So now let's get into the chat. Let's see what you guys have to say. And of course, if you're watching this on replay, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Everybody in the chat, what was your biggest takeaway from Robert Saleh talking to the media? Was it that Mekhi Becton is still, getting up and running and he's still trying to battle with that knee injury? Is it Elijah Vera Tucker moving to right guard? Did that catch you by surprise? Is it Carl Lawson watching film on draft prospects? Is it Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh might getting into a bare-knuckle fight about who to take at number 4, whether it's offense or defensive lineman? Is it Zach Wilson talk? What was your biggest takeaways from Robert Saleh speaking to the media? Because I had a lot. I had a lot of takeaways, and I did just break it down just now. So, the one thing I love about what Robert Saleh talked about as well is his thought process on developing the players in-house and his thought process on the free agents we brought in, prioritizing culture. Amari says, seems like they have faith in Mims and Davis. Yeah, Amari. Robert Saleh was talking about the 2020 draft class. He said it's a really good opportunity for them. Denzel Mims has been taking a lot of big steps in the offseason so far. Miles Austin has been constant communication with him. LaFleur has been constant communication with him. They're looking forward to Denzel Mims going into training camp with no issues, right? Stay away from the salmon, Denzel. Stay away from salmon, okay? And keep those hamstrings intact, and he'll be able to go into OTA smoothly. Because I think a big problem with Denzel in his short career so far with the Jets has been, his mental makeup of him understanding the playbook, knowing where to go, rather than his physical traits. And let's hope that everything goes smoothly with him. But you're right, Amari. Saleh did have interesting things to say about the 2020 draft class. And hopefully that they can really go into training camp and make some strides, man. That's the best case scenario for the Jets right now, is for these players from the 2020 draft class to continue to develop and prove to be pieces for the future. Not every single player from this draft class is going to be foundational pieces. I think we all understand that at this point, that draft class isn't really, the greatest. If you compare it especially to the 2021 draft class, it doesn't even compare. You kidding me? The 2021 draft class could potentially be historic for this Jets franchise if everything goes as planned. Let's hope that this upcoming draft class can be even better. That'll be crazy. Isaac says, biggest takeaway, Saleh comments on number 4, smoke or legit. Biggest surprise, AVT switching to right guard. Yeah, Isaac, this is really well said. I think his talks on number 4, it could be smoke. It could be some reverse psychology that he's playing. But I think we all expect the Jets to go trench work at number 4, correct? So I don't really think it's smoke. I think it's legit. I don't think it's something that, it's going to take other NFL teams by surprise that the Jets are looking to add a player in the trenches at number 4, because we have luxury to pick a trench player 4 and a playmaker at 10. And the biggest surprise is definitely AVT switching the right guard. I knew that was an option, but I did not expect it to come out, especially this early in the offseason. I thought that we would have to go into OTAs to figure that out. Jimmy with the $5 super chat. I appreciate you, Jimmy. What do you think our record will be against the teams in our division? Ooh, very good question, Jimmy. Well, it's been 0-6 for the past couple seasons. So I got to keep that intact, right? Me being hopeful, let's aim for 2-4, right? Let's aim for 2-4. Let's beat the Dolphins. Let's beat the Patriots. We might get swept by the Bills twice, okay? Is that reasonable? Do you guys agree? What do you guys feel like? Our answer Jimmy's super chat here. How many wins do we get in the division? I'm going to say 2 wins. That's me being, realistic and optimistic at the same time. I'm definitely not going to predict going 0-6 again or 1-5. Hopefully, that would be terrible. But how many wins are we going to get in the division? Is 2 wins asking for too much? Our division is stacked right now. The Dolphins got better. The Bills got better. The Patriots kind of stayed the same, right? The Patriots didn't really do anything that scares me, but they're still the Patriots, and it's still Bill Belichick. Until he's gone, I'm scared of the Patriots, to be honest. Not scared of Mac Jones at all, to be honest. It's more the defense. As a Jets fan, I'm always petrified of, because every time we verse the Patriots with a young quarterback, nothing goes our way. So I think we could beat the Patriots once at home this year, and I think we could beat the Miami Dolphins. I don't know if we can beat the Buffalo Bills unless we just shut down Josh Allen. Elliot says we're going to beat the Dolphins twice and Pats once. Okay. Yeah, I think this is what I'm saying. 2, split with New England and Miami. I agree big time. Jimmy, I appreciate the $5 super chat, my man. Great question, because this is a big time step for this Jets organization to compete in the AFC East, because if we do not get at least 2 wins in the division this year, that's a big time problem. It's a big-time problem. Robert Saleh also talked and said that he understands a big gap in the division right now. And the Jets are on the bottom, right? We thought the Dolphins would be with us until all of a sudden they get Tyreek Hill in Armstead. They still have Tua as their quarterback, but at the same time, man, those players are legit. Best case scenario is splitting, going 3-3. But I don't think we can. I don't know if we could beat the Buffalo Bills. I don't know if I can sit here with a straight face and say, yeah, guys, we could beat the Buffalo Bills. Anything can happen. Upsets happen, right? We beat the Cincinnati Bengals. We beat the Tennessee Titans. We almost beat the Buccaneers. Anything can happen on any given Sunday. But my realistic answer is 2 wins. I'm hopeful that we can go 3-3, but I say that every year and it never happens, right? It never, ever happens. That would be great, though. That would be great. So we're going to open this up to a Jets Q&A to finish off the show, guys. Jets Q&A. So any questions you guys want me to talk about, let me know in the live chat. We're going to get to as many as possible. Remember, Super Chats are priority. Skip the line. And if you guys are putting your questions in, I'm going to try to get to as many as possible. And if I did not get to yours, my apologies. I will try to get to as many as possible. So let me know any questions you guys might have regarding the New York Jets. I love interacting with everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody tuning in to the Monday, I could say, what is it, afternoon or evening now at this point. Okay. So Robert Saleh is putting on some weight again. You'd love to see the coach getting back into shape. And I'm really excited, guys. I got a lot of fun things coming your way on Jets Media. I'm actually going on vacation this week. My birthday's on Friday, and then I'm going to Mexico for a week. I'm going to try to bring all my equipment so I can go live with you guys if anything happens. My luck is the Jets are going to make a big-time trade while I'm in Mexico. And I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be out to dinner. And I'm going to be like, I got to make a video. I got to go live. And I'm going to do it. Don't you worry. I'm going to figure out a way to stay live with you guys. You feel me? Knobcraft skips the line with a $5 super chat. Appreciate you, my man. Are we going to see a return of Nasruddin or Sherwood this year? Or is that just going to be a bust? I don't think it's going to be a bust at all, man. I think Jamie and Sherwood, if he did not rupture his Achilles, he'd be a player we'd be looking at as a part of the future next year. I think his injury really is a big part to why we're not talking about him a lot. If you remember, Jamie Sherwood was getting a lot of action in the middle of that season last year when he got hurt. I think that the Jets have a lot of holes at the linebacker position. We didn't really add anybody in free agency. We got CJ Mosley and Quincy Williams, obviously. And then we got the two now year two players, and Nasruddin and Sherwood. And we trade Blake Cashman away. So I think we're going to draft a player. But don't be shocked if Nasruddin and Sherwood fights for a job in the training camp. I think Nasruddin is going to be more of that special teams guy. But if they can develop into their bodies, especially Hamza Nasruddin, right? Hamza Nasruddin is a really interesting prospect because he's so raw as an athlete still. He's so long and lengthy. And if he can grow into his body and get that linebacker style body, don't be shocked if he starts being a player that they're interested in, man. And Jamie Sherwood was playing really good ball before we got hurt. He really did. He was a very underrated player that a lot of Jets fans didn't really realize. And I don't think they're both going to be busts. I think they're going to provide depth. I don't think either of them are going to be star players, Knob. I don't think either of them are going to be starters to the point where we're like, oh my God, these are steals of the draft. I think they're going to be more depth pieces rather than stars or starters, right? And just because you're a depth piece doesn't mean you're going to be classified as a bust, if that makes any sense. So appreciate the super chat, Knobcraft. It means a lot to the channel, of course. Let me know your thoughts in the chat of what Knob has to say. What's your guys' expectations of Sherwood and Nasruddin heading into year number 2? Let's see. Roberto with the question. Do you think we are done with Mims? Such a waste of talent. JD got 6 for a Cashman, but he could get a third for Mims or package him in a trade. What do you think? Now, Denzel Mims is an interesting character because I was a person that was all on the Denzel Mims hype train. And now I was proven to be wrong, right? Because Denzel Mims got the opportunity last year to start, and he did not take advantage. So I don't think the Jets are going to trade him for many reasons. The New York Jets have a lot of holes at this wide receiver position in terms of depth. We did not sign anybody in free agency at the wide receiver spot outside of re-signing Braxton Berrios. Right now, the depth chart is looking like Corey Davis, Elijah Moore, and Braxton Berrios as the 3 receivers with Denzel Mims at 4, right? We don't have anybody else. Jameson Crowder walked to the Buffalo Bills. Keelan Cole still free agent. I know that we have Jeff Smith still here, and we have guys like Lawrence Cager and Tariq Black. But we don't have depth at the receiver position, so I do not see the Jets moving on for Denzel Mims yet. I think they still feel like he has a chance to prove his worth. And this is probably his last season to prove otherwise. Give him another year. Give him a full offseason, a full OTAs and training camp. You got to give players 3 years before you give up on them. I think you can't call a player a bust after 2 seasons, me personally. I think you understand where they're at as a rookie. You see if they can take a next step in year number 2. Sophomore slumps are real. And then year 3 is where you really get to see if these draft picks can be foundational pieces for the future. And if Denzel Mims becomes a player on this team that's here long-term for depth, why not? So I don't think the Jets should trade Denzel Mims. I really don't. I think that'd be a mistake. Me personally. How come the Jets division is so good? Should they request a move to a different division? The division is so good and the conference is so good. I would love to go to the NFC East. Can we swap with the Giants? I wish. Saleh alluded this morning that Mims will be back next year. Yes, he did, Hawk. Thanks for clarifying that. What up, John? Welcome to the stream, my man. Hope you're having a great Monday. Happy Monday. It's called a sophomore slump for a reason. Yeah, it is. It's possible, man. A sophomore slump is very common because what happens is you're a rookie, and Saleh talked about it today, and all of a sudden you're in the offseason after your rookie season, and you have $1 million in the bank account. You have all this freedom. You're not going through the draft process. And a lot of players don't know how to handle the ability to handle their finances and their social ability connecting with the football, right? They get lost in being able to party. They get lost with all the money. They get lost in the being on the bright lights with a lot of followers on social media all of a sudden. And they don't really, and all of a sudden they get lost in the offseason, and then they come out there with a bad sophomore slump. How we doing, my man? Welcome into the stream. Pump the brakes. We're not going to the Super Bowl this year, so let's not overreach. Who said we're going to the Super Bowl, John? I'd be sick, but I agree. I don't think we're going to the Super Bowl either. Mims is a solid player. Failing to grasp a second playbook in 2 years does not make you a failure. Many players were not good early in their career. Mims was good as a rookie. Give Mims a chance. I agree, Harold. I agree. I think it'll be a mistake to give up on Denzel Mims too early. This is going to be his first offseason where he's going into the offseason of understanding the playbook already, going into the second year of the system. And I think it would be a mistake to move on from Denzel. You got to give him another year to prove his worth in this league. He did have a good rookie campaign. Year 2 was not that good. But year 1 he showed promise, and the physical traits are there. The speed is there. The physicality is there. The catch radius is there. It's all about what's up here, man, for Denzel, in my opinion. Seahawks fans reacting to us saying, DK, keep my wife's name out your effing mouth. Quoting Will Smith from last night. That was crazy. Will Smith rocking Chris Rock. Who the hell would have saw that coming? If Jets are going to be running a lot of 2 tight end sets, they still need another tight end in case of injury. Griffin Yeboah ain't it. Yeah, I'm expecting them to draft a tight end. Don't think that they're done adding to this. I think they're going to draft a tight end like a Jake Ferguson or a Dulcich or a Jelani Woods later on in the draft. We make 20-year-old millionaires and then act surprised when they act like children. They still are. Bailing on any 2020 draft picks would be insane. Whole new team from year 1 to year 2. Yeah, this is a great talk. Sorry, I said talk. This is a great take from Talking Jets. I agree. Because you got to give the 2020 draft class 3 seasons in the NFL before you write them off as busts, in my opinion. Especially when they go from a coaching change from year 1 to year 2. You got to give them another chance with Ashton Davis, with Mekhi Becton, with Denzel Mims, right? They're not all going to be foundational pieces, that's for sure. But they still have a chance to prove. I'm still high on Yeboah. He showed flashes in the Bucs game. Yeah, that'll be sick if Kenny Yeboah can make the roster. and he's like tight end 4 or something. That'd be sick. I'm more concerned about re-signing LDT over Cole. Yeah, I think offensive line depth is definitely something that Jets fans are scratching their head about, right? We re-signed Dan Feeney, we re-signed Connor McDermott. We did not cut Greg Van Roten. So the depth is a little thin, right? A little thin. On a scale of 1 to 10, thoughts on DK coming to New York? I do not think. I don't know, man. Why would the Seahawks want to do another trade with the Jets, right? We gotta set their franchise back a little bit. On a scale of 1 to 10, I think the chances are 3, right? We're gonna talk about it on the channel about it because it's definitely something that the Jets will be interested in trying to happen. But we'll see if any smoke comes out of Seattle. Because as of right now, I don't even know if the Seattle's even interested in trading DK. I know that they're getting a lot of calls about DK, but are they going to be trading him is another question. Jelani Woods is the guy I want late. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ron Middleton was there at his pro day, which was cool. So who knows if the Jets are targeting him. I think there's a reason Jets aren't trying to get Cole back. I think a reason is because they're trying to bring in a big-time wide receiver in the trade market, as we saw with Tyreek Hill, and as we saw with all these rumors trying to get, a young star receiver that is looking to get paid the big bucks. Maybe that's why instead of putting, money into Keelan Cole, they want to take that money and put it into a big contract to paying a guy like Deebo Samuel or DK if they do come to the Jets. Because we saw that Joe Douglas was willing to pay Tyreek Hill next level money, which is not something that we're used to from Joe Douglas. With Becton not attending OTAs, we have to go offensive lineman at 4 if Hutchinson and Timms are not there. It's not set in stone that Mekhi is missing OTAs. Saleh just said he's unsure. He did not say that it's guaranteed. He said that there's still a chance. So let's hope that Mekhi's on track, right? But Jets fans need to realize that offensive lineman is definitely still in conversation at pick number 4, especially if Hutch and Thibodeau are off the board. Because if the Jets really don't feel like Mekhi is the answer at long term and they are really concerned about his physical ability in terms of health-wise, then they might take a flyer on Ekwonu. You never know. Don't be shocked if we go offensive lineman at 4. I know a lot of Jets fans don't want to hear that, but it's the truth. Albert with the $2 super chat. Thoughts on Jarvis? I don't think Jarvis Landry makes sense for the Jets for a lot of reasons. I think Jarvis Landry, first of all, wants to go to a contender, and he would not want to come to the Jets. And number 2, I don't think it's the right player for the Jets to bring in right now. I don't know. He's a good player. He's a little injury prone. I'd rather the Jets go elsewhere personally, rather just draft a player like Treylon Burks to play that role than a Jarvis Landry. But I still want the Jets to sign a veteran wide receiver heading into the draft if we do not acquire one via the trade market. But I appreciate the $2 super chat, Albert. Always means a lot to the channel. Who is more likely to be a Jet next season, DK or Deebo? I just don't see the 49ers trading Deebo Samuel. It'd be such a shocker. The only reason why we're talking about Deebo is because he's not paid yet. And he's going to be a player that's going to be looking to get paid. And if the 49ers don't want to pay him, we got the 49ers roster over here in a way. We got Saleh, we got LaFleur, we got Tomlinson. Bring them on to New York. If I had to say one of these two is more likely, it'd be DK, just because they're in a rebuild and the 49ers are kind of ready to win right now. Why would they trade one of the best players if they're trying to win right now? You know what I mean? If Becton is 100% by the draft, we are drafting his replacement 100%. If Becton is 100% by the draft, we are drafting his replacement. Do you mean if he's not 100%, we're going to draft his replacement? Keelan probably wants money that outvalues what they see his role on the Jets. My guess is they want a receiver, something new. More Davis, Berrios, Mims to be 5 wide receivers in the room. Keelan will be wide receiver 6. Yeah, I think that the Jets need to make sure that they get depth at the wide receiver position. But the problem right now that the Jets are having is they're taking big-time swings at players in the trade market, like a Tyreek Hill, And all these other guys, they're sacrificing it in the market's getting thin in free agency. The good thing is, which I talked about in my video today, guys, is if the Jets are not able to get a receiver in the trade market, it's not the end of the world. It's because we have so much draft capital to get a receiver at 10 and even double dip. We can get a Treylon Burks, we can get a Drake London, we can get a Garrett Wilson at 10, and then we can get another receiver in the 4th or 5th round. And all of a sudden, those are 2 receivers to add to the mix, right? So that's the good thing about this is even if the Jets do not get a star receiver, say DK gets extended, Debo gets extended, AJ Brown gets extended, Terry McLaurin gets extended, and they're all staying put, and there's literally no other option for the Jets to go in the trade market. It's okay. We got draft capital to add speed and dynamic playmaking to the roster in the NFL draft. Hydration is key. Harold has an interesting thing to say here. Seems crazy to me. Not sure what is going on with Becton. If he does not play in minicamp OTAs, it would make me officially worried about Becton and the Jets. This would bring trade into play, in my opinion. Guys, remember that he did not say that it's guaranteed that Becton will not be available for the OTAs. It's just a possibility. He does look like he's in good shape. He's working out. You saw the videos. He's walking. He's running. He's doing a lot of things with that knee. He's just a large human, and it is true. If he does have knee issues and they are worried, don't be shocked if they go offensive line at 4. That's all I'll say with that. Hey, man, longtime fan of the Jets. Love your channel. What personally do you think the Jets' biggest problem right now? Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you tuning in. Really does mean a lot to the channel, my man. I think the biggest problem for the Jets, if you want to say, all right, guys, this guy's getting blocked in the chat. No fake news in the chat. Timeout. No fake news in the chat, John. No fake news in the chat. But the biggest problem is I think we're lacking a true big-time wide receiver alongside our star receiver in Elijah Moore on the come-up, right? I think a lot of Jets fans are excited with Elijah Moore's potential in this league, but we lack that true big-time star receiver that's going to take Zach Wilson's game to another level. Now, the good thing is about this is that Joe Douglas is aware of this, which is why he was aggressive to try to get Tyreek Hill. He's aware that we are a big-time receiver away from having this offense pretty much set. We got 2 tight ends in free agency in CJ Uzomah and Tyler Conklin. We had a Pro Bowl offensive lineman in Laken Tomlinson. We have Elijah Moore going into year number 2 that we think is going to take a big-time step. We have Corey Davis, who's a seasoned veteran who proved to be a really good receiver when there's another receiver next to him that's better than him, like with him on the Tennessee Titans and A.J. Brown. We have a star running back in the making in Michael Carter. And we have a young quarterback in Zach Wilson that we're hopeful about, right? The biggest thing is getting a big-time receiver, and that's the missing puzzle piece to the offense. Now, if you want to talk about the defense, the biggest problem right now is a lot of things with the defense because we're coming off being the worst defense in the NFL. Now, they did a lot of great things in free agency, adding a starting corner in DJ Reed with upside, adding a starting safety in Jordan Whitehead with a lot of versatility and upside as well, adding a depth piece on the edge in Martin. But I feel like we're still one true big-time edge rusher away from having an actual defense, right? I don't know what to expect from Carl Lawson. He's coming off an Achilles. I like John Franklin Myers a lot on the edge, but I'd rather him kick in the inside and draft a guy like Kayvon Thibodeau or Jermaine Johnson. So there's a lot of holes on this roster. There's still some problems to sort out. This roster is far from being complete. There's still a lot of holes. We still don't really have a lot of safety depth. And linebacker depth, right? So there's still a lot of holes to fill. That's for sure. But we cannot fill all these holes in one offseason, which is why the Jets have so much capital from last year and this year. We may end up paying some guy named Walter if our running back gets dinged up. I think that we are going to be drafting another running back in the draft to add to that mix, which is why we did not sign anybody. We re-signed Tevin Coleman, which is great. But now I think the New York Jets are going to draft one in the 4th or 5th round to add to the young, dynamic running back room with Michael Carter. What's good, Noah? Welcome into the stream, my man. Appreciate you tuning in. Guys, we are currently on a Jets Q&A. I broke down Robert Saleh's press conference earlier in the stream. But right now, it's a Jets Q&A. If you guys want to ask me any questions regarding the New York Jets or anything regarding the NFL, let me know in the chat. Remember, Super Chats go first. You get to skip the line. I'm going to try to get to as many questions as I can. And if you guys want to do me a favor, help me get to 100 likes on the stream. We got 68 likes with over 170 people tuning in. So don't forget to smash that thumbs up button for your boys so we can get to 100 likes, which is the next goal on the channel. And of course, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Help me get to my next goal of 11K subscribers. That'll be pretty crazy. We're halfway there, guys. Help me out. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thomas asks, what do you think? Sauce, Jermaine Johnson, trade up and grab a receiver in the late teens. I see it, Thomas. I like the vision. We're getting a big-time playmaker in the secondary in Sauce Gardner. We're getting an edge rusher in Jermaine Johnson. We trade up to get a big-time receiver. I like it. I absolutely love the hypothetical scenario of the Jets trading up back into the first round to secure their player because we have ammunition to do that. We can easily package 35 and 38 and move up. That's all we can give up, right? Like, don't be shocked if that happens. Don't be shocked if a player is falling in the draft and we trade up to get him. You know what's one player that Jets fans need to keep an eye on for the Jets to move up to get? And some Jets fans will be like, no, Richie, please no. Some Jets fans will be like, yes, we need him. Tyler Linderbaum. I have a feeling that Joe Douglas is going to keep an eye on him, watching him slide. And if Tyler Linderbaum is there at the back end of the first round, don't be shocked if Joe Douglas moves up a little bit and secures him. That's saying, hypothetically, we already got our receiver, right? Say we got Traylon Burks at 10 or Garrett Wilson at 10 and an edge at 4, and then we move up to get Linderbaum. Obviously, we would have to move on from McGovern if that's the case. But I just feel like that is the one player in this draft that Joe Douglas is gushing over the most. I said this at the beginning of the season, honestly, when I started doing research on the draft. I've been looking at the edge class and in this draft and looking at all the round 1 and 2 guys. Am I crazy thinking that separation from edge talent at 4 to 35 isn't that big? Lots of second round guys are, yeah. Boye Mafe is a guy. Sanders, there's a lot of players. I feel like this is one of the deeper edge classes we've seen in a long, long time, which gives the Jets a lot of flexibility. So if they want to take a flyer on an offensive lineman at 4 somehow, and then take a playmaker at 10 and then wait for 35 to get their edge, or maybe move up in the draft to get their guy, that's it. That's definitely something to keep an eye out for. This edge class is definitely deep. Kayvon Thibodeau, Garrett Wilson, and Tyler Linderbaum. Woo! Do this to me, King Joe. Don't do this to me, King Joe. You're going to get me way too excited. You're going to get me way too excited, man. Oh, the Jets have just signed Solomon Thomas. Breaking news. Dude, this was my guy. I've been predicting this all offseason. I was predicting this all offseason, everybody. Breaking news, the New York Jets have just signed Solomon Thomas. If you guys have been following the channel, I have been all over this, predicting this for a while. Breaking news, the New York Jets have just signed Solomon Thomas. I'm about to tweet it out right now. Breaking news, the New York Jets have just signed Solomon Thomas. Who tweeted it out? Kaz, right? I predicted it. I predicted it. Ha. All right, guys, hold on. Give me a second, and then we'll talk about it. tweeting it out real quick. Just tweeting it out real quick. I want him on the Jets since the offseason began. I'm happy he's a Jet. What's your thoughts? Hold on. I wanted him on the Jets since the offseason. All right. So we got some breaking news, everybody. If you're just tuning in, let's break down Solomon Thomas. Some breaking crazy news. Breaking. Jets sign Saleh. All right, guys, we got some breaking Jets news. Didn't expect that to happen. So this is a player that I've been on since the offseason began. If you go to all my prediction videos, if you've been watching the channel, you know that I've been on this. I love this move for the New York Jets for many reasons. He's a player that is familiar with Robert Saleh. He was on that Super Bowl roster. He's a former top 4 pick in the NFL draft. He didn't live up to expectations, but he was part of that disgusting front four for that San Francisco 49ers team that went to the Super Bowl. And if you guys remember, 2 seasons ago when we versed the 49ers, Solomon Thomas went down with a season-ending injury. And then last year he went to the Raiders, and he had a pretty productive, healthy season for the Raiders last year. And I felt like Solomon Thomas would be a perfect player to add to the mix of this defensive line. 3.5 sacks last year. He's a versatile player that can play all over the line. His experience on the end and the tackle. He's kind of like John Franklin Myers. And he is familiar with Robert Saleh's system. I'm very happy with this. This is a depth move. This is a player that's going to add to the locker room a familiar face. What's your thoughts? He's a player that's going to be part of the rotation. He's not going to be a player that's going to be, on the on defensive line every single snap, right? He's going to be part of the rotation. He's still young. Let's get into his numbers real quick. So he has 9.5 career sacks. He had 3 sacks as a rookie, and then 1 sack, and then he's coming off a career year. Last year, he put up a career high 3.5 sacks, and he's a player that's 26 years old. He'll be 27 going into this season. He's a defensive tackle that can be versatile enough to kick in and out on the outside. So he's just basically going to add to the rotation. I like the move, man. It's a low risk, high reward. I'm curious what the contract is. And it's a familiar face. Former top 5 pick in the NFL draft. And I don't hate it. This was a player that I wanted the Jets to sign from the beginning of the offseason, man. I don't know what the contract is yet. We're still waiting for that news. But according to Brian Kaz, it's happening. So I'm waiting to see if there's a report on the contract, but I don't see it yet. This is a great thing for many reasons because the Jets absolutely love having defensive linemen in a constant rotation. We added Martin. Now we add Thomas. Foley Fatukasi walks out the door, and now Solomon Thomas is probably going to be his replacement. Knowing the system is a big-time upgrade. He was drafted by the Niners when Robert Saleh took over as the defensive coordinator over there. So he knows the system. He's been in the system when it was at its peak for the 49ers when they went to the Super Bowl. And I'm probably going to make a video about this right after the stream is all wrapped up to talk about it in depth. So now our 4 defensive tackles is John Franklin Myers, Quinnen Williams, Sheldon Rankins, Solomon Thomas, and Jonathan Marshall. I like this move for the New York Jets. Let me know your thoughts in the chat about your thoughts of Solomon Thomas becoming a New York Jet. I kind of want to find my tweet of me saying the New York Jets assigned him. Solomon. I really want to find this tweet that I made. I tweeted out a while ago saying that I want the Jets to do it. Here it is. Found it. I found the tweet. I found the tweet. Look at this tweet, guys. I'm a wizard. I tweeted this out. When was this? February 28th. I said, a free agent, I would love to see the Jets sign to Solomon Thomas. He was with Robert Saleh and the 49ers when they went to the Super Bowl and knows the system well. At 26 years old, I would love to see the Jets bring in Thomas to add to the trench unit on defense. Haha. I knew he was going to be a Jet. If there was one free agent that I was predicting to be a Jet, it was Solomon Thomas, and I'm happy that I was right. Not a splashy move, not a move that's going to take us to the Super Bowl, but his depth, and depth matters, and the trenches matter. Joe Douglas makes a move in free agency. Let me know your thoughts in the chat, of course, and don't forget to smash that like button. Help me get to 100 likes. We're at 89 likes. With over 200 people tuning in, smash that thumbs up button for your boy. I greatly appreciate that if you're just tuning in for the first time. Or if you already hit the thumbs up button, I appreciate you. We got some breaking news. The New York Jets have signed Solomon Thomas. We do not know the contract yet. But the New York Jets adding depth to that defensive line. I love it. So what this does is it adds depth to a unit that needs it. This does not mean the Jets are not going to draft an edge at all. Thomas is a player that can line up in and outside. So I'm all for it. This is a player that I wanted all offseason. Not a player that's flashy, but it's a great sign that the New York Jets are continuing to add to the trenches. Now, I see someone in the chat saying he's injury prone. The good thing about Solomon Thomas, want to hear this? So, where is it? Solomon stay injured. Incorrect, Anthony. He had a season-ending injury 2 years ago against the Jets. And then he gets signed by the Las Vegas Raiders, and he participated in all 17 games. So he's coming off a full season of health. Now, does that mean that it's guaranteed he's going to be healthy for us? No. But Solomon Thomas is not injury prone. He had one injury. As a rookie, he played 14 games. And the next 2 seasons, he had a full 16-game season. And then against the Jets, he gets hurt in week number 2. And then in 2021, he plays all 17 games. Oh, I like the signing. It's a 1-year deal. Great speed for the inside. Yes, sir, Amari. You love it. Pride of EM. Love the depth signing. Shout out Clifford. Pride of East Meadow, of course. I love the depth signing as well, man. I feel like this is a player that made a lot of sense. It always made a lot of sense for the Jets. And I feel like this is a move that shows that the Jets are not going to be, not going to be stopping adding to the mix until the NFL draft. So I see people asking what his career numbers are. Solomon Thomas has 30 career games started 65 career games, 76 total tackles in his career, 9.5 sacks, 2 pass deflections, and 2 forced fumbles. He's a player that was a high draft pick that never really lived up to his potential, but it was part of a dynamic, disgusting front four of the San Francisco 49ers in that 2019 season when they went to the Super Bowl. And this is just a player that's going to be part of the rotation. So I'm probably going to end the stream here, guys, and make a whole separate video of this signing. So you guys can stay tuned for that. I made a video of my thoughts of addressing all the rumors regarding the New York Jets, adding a star receiver potentially in Deebo Samuel, A.J. Brown, or DK Metcalf in the trade market if one of those players does become available. So check out that video if you did not already. That's on the channel. So if you guys have any other things you want to talk about before we end off the stream, let me know in the chat. But we're going to head on out of here. I appreciate everybody tuning in to today's show. We got some breaking news while on the channel. You'd love to see that. And the roster is far from being over. Still a lot of things to come. Stay tuned for more Jets content. Smash that thumbs up button if you're not already. I greatly appreciate everybody tuning in. And expect a lot more stuff coming in. John asked a good question. What's your thoughts on Mel Kiper's mock draft of Drake London and Gardner? I don't see that happening. Drake London is not going to be the pick at 4. No shot. I don't see that happening. I like Drake London at 10, not 4. Sauce and Drake London, maybe. I don't think. All right, guys. I love you all. Let's go, Jets. Stay tuned for my video in a couple of minutes about Solomon Thomas, and I'll catch you in my next one. Let's go, Jets. Peace.